This is your team at the Medium. This is who is on the call this evening, and we will be answering your questions about anything, any of your proposal questions that you might have. This is going to be your team. If and when you are a recipient of the Creative Exchange Fund, this is your team of people you will be working with in the physical space here. I put our mission statement on here. I'm going to read this for you. The Medium is a radically inclusive venue for creative expression that offers affordable and equitable access to space for artists of all backgrounds. Whoops. All right, here's our quick agenda for tonight. Introduction to the Creative Exchange Fund. I'm going to show you what the Medium is and the available spaces that come with the Creative Exchange Fund. I'm going to unpack and tell you all about the 5 incredible funding opportunities that are going to be really exciting for you to learn about. We're going to kind of walk through the application, what that actually looks like, what the selection criteria is, and then we're going to share some more support and resources for you all to feel competent and confident moving forward. Here's sort of the root of how the Creative Exchange Fund began. At CASH, we understand that the creative process takes time, money, and affordable space to work. The Creative Exchange Fund, which we also call CXF, you'll hear us refer to that quite a bit tonight. It invests in creatives by providing funding, professional development, and free space to take creative risks. This is a programming initiative designed in partnership with the Tyson Family Foundation to bring life, art, and community experiences to the Medium, and we're super grateful for them trusting us to facilitate this. What is the Creative Exchange Fund? That's 5 unique opportunities exist to support live performances, community events, artists in residence, and innovative exhibitions. And I know each of those statements is a little bit loaded, but I got a lot of slides here and I'm going to unpack this a little bit with you all. So hang tight with me. And as questions arise, please drop them in the chat as we begin to move along here. How's everyone doing? Are we good? All right. I'm just talking to my laptop here. Here's the Medium. Where the heck is it? The Medium is in downtown Springdale at 214 South Main Street. Here's an image. You might have seen this before. We are a project, an artist-led project of CASH that's dedicated to removing barriers between creatives, their work, and their audiences by providing accessible studio, rehearsal, performance, and exhibition space. That is who we are, even outside of the Creative Exchange Fund. We are a space for the community to come in and utilize as a resource for their creative endeavors. Also, you'll notice this little purple tab at the top right, the medium.art. That is our website. I tried to include that on a lot of these slides to remind you it's a new website. You may or may not have ever been to it. So after this session, or maybe on your phones now, feel free to go to that site and start poking around. It's really beautiful. We're really proud of it. And it is chock full of information. Speaking of, this slide is illustrating the homepage on the medium.art. This pink hand is pointing to a translation widget. Click that and you can, it will translate our website into Spanish. So if you need a Spanish translation of the website, bam, there it is. See where the pink finger is pointing. That is for you. I'm going to walk you through just a little bit of the website and how to sort of move about and navigate a little bit. When you go to the website, there's a tiny word menu in the top right. When you click that, all of this drops down. If you click on Our Space, it takes you to a page that looks something like this. And here are all the different spaces that are offered at the Medium. And if you click on one, like the little pink hand is doing here, it will take you to this page. And on this page, it has images of the different spaces that are available at the medium. It has where the pink hand is pointing right now, facility specs. We use that a lot. We share that form a lot with people so that you can see what each of the spaces has to offer as a resource that's available. Just something for you to peruse and think through as you're considering what your projects might be. Also on there, you can scroll and see other images, how other people have used the space to kind of spark your curiosity and inspire you. Here's a floor plan of the medium, and these are the available spaces for your projects for the Creative Exchange Fund. If you look to the right, there's some red text that says main entrance. That's the front of the building, like you saw in the image that said the medium on it. There are 2 classrooms at the front, classroom 1 and 2. Those will be utilized for our artists in residence. The main gallery and main gallery extension. Actually, the main gallery is a part of the Spectra series, which you guys will learn a little bit more about tonight. The black box is a space that's available, the main gallery extension, and then our auditorium, which is seats 371 people, is primarily reserved for the platform recipients. So yeah, I'll leave it at that for now, but there's a little navigating, it's not a real cut and dry map as far as when you apply to something, this is this precise space you get, and I'll go into that a little bit, but here's a floor plan of what's possible. And these are the names that we refer to when we're talking about the spaces at the medium, the auditorium, stage, and theater. And you can notice there's some lighter spaces. There's a shop behind the auditorium. There's a green room and some dressing rooms that are also attached to the auditorium. All right, on the website, when you click on the menu, you can also just go to the medium.art/CXF, and it will take you straight to this page, or you can also just go to the website and click where the pink hand is there, click CXF, and it will take you here. We have tried really hard. We've worked really hard for the last several months to populate this website with as much information as we possibly can to help you be the most informed when you apply to the Creative Exchange Fund. So right here, if you scroll down just a tiny bit, it takes you to this section. You can scroll and click on either of the 5 funding opportunities that you're interested in. And it will take you to this page. If you click on, let's say, the platform, it will take you here. And if you scroll to the bottom of this, it has all of the eligibility and everything I'm going to go over tonight, but I wanted to share this as a resource that you all are aware of. There are samples at the bottom of each of these videos of past recipients that our brilliant content creator, Evan Alvarado, that's on this, he's here tonight somewhere. He shot all these videos for us and they're fantastic. So please take a moment after this evening, whenever you figure out which fund you might be interested in, go to this website, check out all the past recipients and see sort of the vibe and energy that we're looking for. All right, let's jump in. There's 5 individual funding opportunities, and here they are. We have the producers. We have 6 awards to give out for that one at $2,500 each. There's the platform, 2 awards at $15,000 each. The mixtape music series, 16 awards to musicians, $1,500 each. The medium artist in residence, there will be 6 of those this year at $3,000 each. And the Spectra series, which is the former call for curators, we're shuffling that around just a bit this year. There are 6 awards at $4,500 each for a total of 36 awards that are available. All right, we're going to jump right in to each of these funds. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and what requirements we're looking for. Producers. The Producers Fund supports innovative, community-engaged events organized by individuals or organizations. The Medium Campus serves as a launch pad for event producers to generate greater social and artistic impact. And there are 6 of these awards at $2,500 each. The discipline for this is interdisciplinary. We're very open to what this one could actually look like. Again, I would encourage you to go to our website and see some of the past recipients and the highlight reel of a video of breaking habits. They're the ones that Evan made a video of. There's a fantastic illustration of sort of what we're looking for. And there's also all the other past recipients, but we're looking for people to produce community-focused events and willing to take a creative risk and see what that looks like. And you will have up to 2 weeks in the space if you receive this. And that's flexible and it doesn't mean that your event has to be 2 weeks. It can mean you just need to do a one-night thing, but maybe you want a rehearsal or you need space to practice or something. So that's what that up to 2 weeks means. Producers eligibility is you must be at least 18 years old, and that's true for all of our fund opportunities. This is for practicing artists, groups of artists, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities are all eligible to apply. Applicants do not need to be Arkansas residents. However, at least 50% of featured talent, vendors, and staff that are a part of your project must be contracted within the state of Arkansas. And this is true for all of the funds moving forward. If you received a producer's opportunity with us before, you're not eligible to apply for this fund again this year, but you're open and invited to apply to any other fund. If you have questions about that or need it to be repeated, please drop that question in the chat or DM Thalia and she will jump on that for you. We have an info session specifically for the producers. If that sounds like something that might help you, or that might be what you're interested in applying to, please sign up for this particular info session. That's next Thursday, June 22nd from 6 to 7 p.m. We'll go a little more in depth about each of the funds, but for this one specifically producers, we'll share some examples of past projects. We'll go over application details a little more in depth, and we'll talk about available support, and we'll have some time for you to ask questions specifically to the producers. We threw a QR code on here if that's easier for you. Open your camera on your smartphone and scan that, and it will take you directly to the Eventbrite page for you to register for that. If you don't feel like doing that, you can also just go back to the medium.art/producers, and there's a way to do it on there. The platform, 2 awards, $15,000 each. The platform fund supports performance-based artists and organizations presenting new work for the stage. The Medium's 371-seat theater provides an opportunity to engage large audiences in a theatrical setting. The key word here is performance-based artists. So you can ask some questions around what the heck that actually means and what we're looking for there, and we can talk about that too. There are 2 of these awards available, and you would get up to 3 weeks in the auditorium theater space. I should mention too, as far as timeline goes, we can unpack that in the end because I've got some FAQs at the end, but when you apply to the Creative Exchange Fund, you'll be able to select what time frame you're interested or available in doing your project. And then you will work closely with our team to really hone in on exactly what that will look like and where that will look like within the space. The eligibility for the platform grant, which is the $15,000 award, you must be 18 years old, and it's open to practicing artists, groups of artists, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities. Applicants must reside in Benton, Washington, Carroll, Madison, Sebastian, or Crawford counties of Arkansas. We've expanded those counties this year outside of Benton and Washington County. Proposed projects must support shows, performances, and productions on the medium's stage. Any live performance-based disciplines utilizing the theater are eligible to apply. Again, performance-based disciplines, if you're curious about what that looks like, throw a question in the chat and let's talk about it. At least 50% of the featured talent, vendors, and staff must be contracted within Arkansas. We are really interested in retaining talent around here and celebrating and elevating the artists that are practicing in the state of Arkansas. And so this is one of the reasons that is an important element for us to include. And just like all the other funds, if you receive the platform grant in the past, you are not eligible to reapply this year, but you're welcome to apply to any of the other opportunities. If you're interested in the platform and want to unpack that one a little bit more in depth, please jump on to the Tuesday, June 27th info session specifically for this fund. Again, we'll share examples. The team, the cash team will be here. It's really great. This session tonight is just general info session about all of the funds. And so you can kind of start to fill it out and see which one makes the most sense for your ideas that you might have. And we would encourage you to come to any of these additional info sessions, but please register for the one that resonates with you. It's a really great resource to have some time with the team to ask really in-depth questions about what we're looking for, what the space can handle, what the footprint is, what the 3 weeks in the space might actually look like. It's a really great time to sort of get into the weeds a little bit. There's a QR code here. Again, if you want to scan that and go ahead and register for that session, feel free to do that. If not, you can always just go back to themedium.art, click on CXF or themedium.art/the-platform, and it will take you to everything I just shared, and there will be a registration link for the info session for this one. Next up is the mixtape music series. We have 16 of these awards available at $1,500 each. This is a free all ages live music series that funds 16 musicians presenting original work, no covers. Or maybe we can talk about that. Each monthly mixtape performance consists of 2 45 to 60-minute acts within the black box, stage, or main gallery. Artists, musical groups, or musicians will receive $1,500. And the discipline that we're looking for is musical performance, musical acts. We're very open to what that can look like and what your interpretation of that might be. And the available spaces are the black box, main gallery, and stage, and that will be determined by our staff. The time frame is rotating monthly. And if you are a recipient of the mixtape music series, we will very consciously pair you with another performer for the same night. And so the idea is that we'll have one free music night once a month at the Medium, and there will be 2 featured acts. And so whether that's you and someone else, that's how that will look. Last year we kept it all in the black box. So every mixtape music night, you were able to come into the black box and see 2 musical acts. That might shift depending on space availability and what that looks like. So that's why that says TBD by the Medium staff. Eligibility for the mixtape music series is you must be at least 18 years old. Practicing artists and groups of artists are eligible to apply. So if you have a large band, bring them in. Let's do it. Nonprofit organizations are not eligible for this particular opportunity. Applicants do not need to be Arkansas residents, but the majority of the funds will be awarded to recipients in Benton, Washington, Madison, Crawford, Carroll, and Sebastian counties of Arkansas. If you received the Mixtape Music Series award last year, or the first round of CXF, you are not eligible to reapply for this fund. If you have questions about what that looks like, please put it in the chat, or if you're not comfortable putting it in the chat, DM Thalia, or heck, even Lisa Marie or John Wayne or Brittany. There's a lot of cash people here. So whoever you're comfortable with, or if you might know someone, if you would like to DM them questions, they are open and available to respond to you. We have a Mixtape Music Series info session coming up on Wednesday, June 21st. That's next week, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Again, we'll go more into detail and share some examples of previous performances, and kind of talk through that with you a little bit. So again, this is a really great time to get FaceTime with the cash staff and the medium staff and ask questions and really understand what you're walking into and applying. And when you're applying to these opportunities, it's just good to come to these things. So thank you all so much for being here. It speaks a lot about your artistic practice, just the fact that you're showing up to an info session. How's everyone doing? Are we good? Just droning on here. Okay. The medium artist residencies. We have 6 awards this year, and each artist in residence will get $3,000. This residency provides practicing 2 and 3D visual artists with a creative studio space for 6 weeks, allowing them to take creative risks, expand artistically, and build relationships with the community. This is specifically for visual artists. This year, you will get 1 entire classroom. If you saw the floor plan at the start of this, each artist will receive 1 classroom and a key to that classroom, and you will have 24/7 access to the space to come and go as you please. You'll have 6 weeks in the space, and we have a buffer of 3 weeks for you to move in and to move out. So that way, that 6 weeks is true residency time for you. The eligibility for the medium artist residencies is you must be at least 18. You must be a practicing 2D and or 3D visual artist. Artists must reside in Benton or Washington counties of Northwest Arkansas, and that is because this is not a housing residency. It's only a free studio space for you. So it's for Benton and Washington County artists and creatives so that they can commute easily to the medium. Resident projects must take into account studio dimensions, including a ceiling height of 8 feet. So depending on what your medium is, please keep that in mind when you're applying to this opportunity, that the ceilings are drop-down ceilings and they're only 8 feet tall, which shifts over to woodworking, welding, foundry work, and glass blowing are unfortunately ineligible to apply just due to the facility limitations. We don't have ventilation, and so please consider that when you're looking at this opportunity. Artists in residence will be required to host an open studio evening during a pre-assigned quarterly visual art night, which means we'll put a date on the calendar. We'll work with a selection of you, and we'll choose a date that makes the most sense for all parties. And it will be a visual art night for the artist in residence and any gallery receptions that are happening. So everyone is doing their event on the same evening. That is a requirement of this award to please keep in mind when you apply. Applicants must commit to a minimum of 10 hours a week, 60 hours total over your 6 weeks, that you must be on site during your residency. And we're very flexible about the when and how you actually do that. If you have a full-time job and you want to do this in the evenings, great, that's fine too. Previous artist in resident recipients are not eligible to apply. If you were a recipient from this, you can apply to any of the other funding opportunities that are available. If you're curious about the artist in residency program and want to dive deeper into that one, please jump into our Wednesday, June 28th, 11 a.m. to noon. It's a midday session. And we will go into greater detail about the residency program and answer any questions you might have about whether or not your artistic practice is eligible. You also might hear us saying, you will hear us saying the words creative risk taking. That's something we say a lot. If you have questions about what that means and what that looks like, these individual sessions are really great to come to sort of pitch your ideas and think through some what's possible. Spectra series. This is a new name this year. This series invites visual artists, artist collectives, and art facilitators to host a group exhibition in either the medium's main gallery or our outdoor campus. This fund celebrates bold, innovative, and thought-provoking collaborative exhibitions with at least 3 artists involved. There are 6 of these awards. 3 of them will go to an indoor opportunity, and 3 of those will go to an outdoor opportunity. And you will have $4,500 to make that happen. There's a lot to understand about the Spectra series. So if you're interested in this one, please jump into the info session. Especially the outdoor element to this can sometimes be confusing, and we're happy to walk all the way around that with you and answer questions. So again, there's 6 of these awards available. You will receive $4,500 to make an exhibition happen that has at least 3 artists in it, and all disciplines are open to apply to this. We listed on here, including but not limited to film, video, animation, fashion, fiber arts, multimedia, visual arts, literature, poetry, digital arts, all are welcome. This will take place on the main gallery walls, not including that main gallery extension, just the main gallery walls and the medium exterior and grounds. So the exterior of the building and any of the footprint that the building takes, and the grass and area around it is something to consider. You'll have a 6-week minimum exhibition time that we'd like the artwork to be open and available for people to come in and see for the 6-week duration. And then you'll have 3 weeks to schedule installation or de-installation. So we know sometimes collecting work from artists can take time, and getting everything prepared on the wall and labels and everything. So we've calculated a buffer in there to give you adequate and peaceful time to pull that together. The eligibility for the Spectra series, again, you must be 18 years old. Indoor proposed projects must fit within 4 feet of the main gallery wall to allow for audience access to the theater. We can unpack all of that later on an info session if you would like, but please keep in mind that the main gallery is sort of our foyer or main entrance into the only entrance into the theater. And so we just need to be mindful of how intrusive the artwork gets into that space, because sometimes there's a lot of children plays and activities that are happening here. And so we want to protect the artwork that you're working really hard to install. And so that's why that 4 foot, what am I trying to say? What's the word there? Limit is put on the wall. All hardware, labels, hanging apparatuses, and AV equipment must be provided by you, the lead artist. Practicing artists, artist groups, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. You don't need to be an Arkansas resident to apply, but the ratio of Northwest Arkansas artists that you feature in the exhibition must be no less than 50%. So at least half of your artists that are in your exhibition need to be from Northwest Arkansas. Again, we do that so we can attract and retain local creative talent. The majority of the funds will be awarded to recipients in Benton, Washington, Madison, Crawford, Carroll, and Sebastian counties of Arkansas. Previous call for curator recipients may not apply to the Spectra series, but you're welcome to apply to any of the other opportunities. So get creative with how you might work around that. If you're interested in the Spectra series, and if you'd like to understand better some of the parameters that I've laid out here, especially what the heck the indoor versus outdoor opportunities look like, please come to this info session and we will walk you through that. And we will show you some examples of what happened this last time. We'll throw out ideas of things that maybe we haven't seen, but we're open to. This is a really great opportunity for you to sit and chat with us and learn a little bit more about the Spectra series and what we're looking for and what's possible. Again, there's 6 of those awards and you would receive $4,500. Okay, that's all of the funds. That's all 5 of them. We just unpacked them a little bit. I just gave you like a teaser, just enough for you're like, hey, maybe that's me. On our website, if you go to themedium.art, why do we have this here? Oh, if you were to click on, let's say, mixtape music series, and it takes you to this site, and you're like, that's what I want to do. First of all, please come to the info session before you apply. Really, truly, it's going to help your application be the most successful that it can. But this is where you would apply if you're interested. If you're like, I know I'm going to get this. I'm just going to jump in there. I'm going to do it right now. But this is where you would do it. Here's a little bit about the application and what we're looking for. There's 5 parts of the application that consist of lead artist information. I'm going to go ahead and read the asterisk at the bottom here. If you're applying as a group of artists, arts and culture organization, or for-profit creative entity, please understand that your proposed project must have a designated lead artist, which is basically a point person, a name on the application, the person that we will be communicating with through the duration of your award time. So we'll ask for that information. Who's that person? We're going to ask for supporting information for the artist and group organization. We're going to ask for your project information. What is the thing? What's the thing that you're interested in doing? The application's going to ask you about professional and artistic growth and risk taking. And there's some other miscellaneous questions on there too. Here's another slide about applications. Geography, discipline, level of experience. These are the things that we'll be asking about the lead artist. If you're a lead artist of a group of individuals, this on the application, there will be an opportunity for you to say, I represent this organization, or I represent this creative entity or collective. We're going to look for your artist statement and your organization statement of purpose. Basically tells who you are. What is your art about? What's the message? We're going to ask for a few work samples. We just want to see what you've done before, what's possible. If you're trying something radically new and you don't have work from that, that's okay. Show us what you've done before and just kind of illustrate that you're used to doing something, anything. We're curious about if you have any creative achievements. If not, that's okay. Let's just like walk through that. Project information, like your title, description, key collaborators, timeline, and budget. And then there will be a selection area for you to select your preferred dates for the project. And then we're going to ask how this project gives you the opportunity to take risks and expand your professional and artistic growth. This is a really important question, and I want you all, if you're serious about applying to the Creative Exchange Fund, to sit with that question and really explore what that means for you. And we can, if you have a question about that, please put it in the chat or DM one of us. There will be a panel of individuals, and I'll tell you about that on the next slide. But the panelists, they're going to consider these 3 things to determine awards. Artistry and strength of the concept. Does the applicant demonstrate a clear, compelling vision or purpose for their work in general and have some great work samples? Does the proposed project concept align with their vision or purpose? And does the proposed project, is it relevant, interesting, inspiring, and thought-provoking? Capacity and feasibility. This one is important. You need to demonstrate the capacity and skill to carry out your proposed project. You've clearly taken into account the feasibility of your project within the CXF program restrictions, whether that's physical space, time, equipment, etc. And the applicant's proposal, budget, and timeline, and making sure all of those things align. So your idea may be elaborate and fantastic and beautiful, but then we have to bring it back down to earth and ask how you're going to actually realistically pull the thing off. So when you're writing your application, stay mindful of capacity and feasibility of actually executing your project. And then they're going to be looking at professional and artistic growth and risk taking. We would like to see proposed projects that represent an opportunity to take risks, an artistic challenge, or a creative stretch for the applicant. Are you a printmaker that's interested in printing, who knows, with a foreign object? I don't know. How are you expanding what your normal artistic practice is? And that can mean a variety of things depending on who you are and what your artistic or creative practice is. The applicant demonstrates how this project or opportunity relates to and furthers their career and artistic goals. This is the opportunity for you to think big or to think bold or to think just if there's an idea that you've been itching to do, but you've not had time, space, or resources to try it, the Creative Exchange Fund is for you. We want you to come in here and try it out, try to do the thing. And this is a safe space to do that. Our panelists, this is a lot, but just to break it down for you, we have a leadership council as a part of the medium. Those individuals will be a part of the paneling. We have an advisory body, and we have a very healthy staff of practicing artists that will be assigned to various panels. I'd also like to point out that sometimes our leadership council last year, they applied for some of these opportunities. They will not be allowed to panel the opportunities that they apply to. We want this to be as accessible and equitable as possible. And so I just want to say that out loud so that you all understand. Because this is a project of the Tyson Family Foundation, there will be representatives from there also offering feedback on who should be selected for this. And then all of the panelists are making recommendations. They will go through a very long process of reading every word that you write. So make it good. And once they do, we will collect those as recommendations, and we will go through and tally and figure out what makes the most sense for the space and the feasibility of the project. On our website, themedium.art, if you scroll down to the bottom of the Creative Exchange Fund page, there are a bunch of FAQs, frequently asked questions. There's a lot of them. I don't even know, maybe 30, 40, I don't know. There's a lot. If you're really serious about applying to the Creative Exchange Fund, I would encourage you to please sign up for more of the info sessions that we have coming up, and just skim the website. Spend 10 minutes on the website at the very least and read some of those frequently asked questions, and I guarantee you probably some of your questions are in there. I have no idea what's happening in the chat. Maybe that's already being slung around, but please utilize that. We've spent a lot of time on that. We really want this to be easy for you. We understand it's hard. This is hard. It's hard to write a grant. It's hard to pitch a proposal. You're putting your heart on the line, and you want it to be good. So do your research. We've tried to hand you everything that we can on the website, skim through the FAQs, and see if your question might live there. If not, please come to an info session. This is obviously is a still image, but if you scroll on the website, there's other opportunities. It says click here, but now it's been updated to say RSVP to attend. So it'll take you to the Eventbrite page to get you right back to one of these info sessions. Here are all of the dates, upcoming dates for the info sessions I'm talking about. If you have a phone, take a photo of this page or screenshot it to help remind you of what's out here and available. June 20th, Spectra Series, June 21st, Mixtape, June 22nd, Producers, June 27th, Platform, June 28th, Medium Artist Residencies. And again, all of these will be recorded and we'll put those onto the website, but there's usually, I don't know, a natural like 2 to 5 day period for us to get those captions on there and get it onto the website. So give us a little bit of grace around that, but they'll all be recorded and you can go back and access even this session today to re-listen to some of the things that are coming up. We also have an in-person site tour of the medium. If you've never been to the space before, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to come in and see where your ideas may come to life. All of the CXF projects are required to take place at the medium. You cannot pitch something to take place anywhere beyond the medium. This program is specifically site specific for the medium. So please come see the building. It would be great for you to walk around. We'll give you a fantastic tour, probably some snacks, and you'll get to meet the team. Last year, it was a great opportunity to kind of pull people aside and be like, hey, I have this idea, is this crazy? And so it's an opportunity for you to intermingle with our staff and ask questions and see what's possible in the space. And honestly, this space is so cool. Even if you've been here before, just come to the site tour and hear us talk about like what we've seen happen in specific rooms to help inspire your ideas. Oh no, my dates are wrong on here. I'm so sorry. One-on-one support. Can someone put in the chat? It looks like Lisa Marie's on it.
Yeah, those dates go from June 29th to July 14th. And we open them up after the application workshop on June 28th. So that way everybody has the opportunity to go and be a part of each info session if they like, or to view it. They get to go through the application support. And then if you have more questions, you can sign up for a one-on-one to get some application support or questions answered. And those open up on June 29th.
Yeah, will you say those dates one more time?
June 29th through July 14th, and Thalia just popped it in the chat too.
Awesome. Lisa Marie, can you tell us really quickly, what is a one-on-one? What does that mean?
So what one-on-ones look like for this, those are 20-minute one-on-one sessions that are set up over Calendly. And so you'll schedule a one-on-one around, you'll get to ask about 3 questions. They're 20 minutes. So we ask you to list your questions or areas that you'd like to discuss about your application or questions about the fund. And so they're 20-minute sessions. You get to attend one-on-one session.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping in. I apologize that the dates are wrong on the one-on-one support, but please check the chat. Application workshop, that's coming up on June 28th at 6:30. And that is specifically about the application. And we will walk you through those questions, what that looks like. We'll answer any concerns you might have about what to put and how to state something. Again, we want you to feel comfortable walking into the application process. And I've said this several times, but just to reiterate, one of my favorite things about working for Cash is that we are a team of practicing artists and arts administrators. We all come from some type of artistic background and experience, and we are all mostly still applying to grants on our own for other projects outside of the medium. And so we know firsthand how hard these opportunities can be. And so we've tried to set this up in a way that feels as comfortable as it can for you all. So we want you to use us and the website as a resource. moving forward. We're almost done here, but I wanted to remind everyone, since while I have your attention, Cash has an artist directory. And if you've not heard of that, jump over to, I put the website here on the pink bar on the left, cashcreate.org/directory. At the top, click resources and then click directory. This is a free resource for you to go in, add a profile, throw in an image of yourself, write a little haiku about who you are or whatever you want to write, and link out to your website, your Instagram, whatever. We use this at Cash every single day. People come to us for resources, or they are interested in connecting with an artist or a musician or a performer or a dancer or whatever. We use the directory to find those humans and connect them with individuals looking for artists. So if your name is not on here, please take a moment to put your information onto the directory. It's really important for your artistic practice. Someone Googles you, your name pops up here too. So it's just good. It's good for you to be out there. I can see Lisa Marie smiling. I have no idea what's happening in the chat. Hopefully someone's dropping that link in the chat too for you all. Okay, I just pulled from our FAQs online, some of the most frequently asked questions that I hear. And so I have 2 slides, 6 questions, and I'm just gonna walk through these really quickly to hopefully debunk some mystery around the Creative Exchange Fund. In case it's not been clear, can I apply for more than one CXF fund? Actually, I don't know that I've answered this yet. No, friends. You may not. Pick the one that most aligns with you and your project and your collective of people that you are working with. Choose the one. You can only apply to one.
Amber,
Yeah.
it's the lead. You can apply to one fund as a lead. This is where it gets a little confusing. And if you want to talk more about it, Thalia, please do. But you can apply to one fund as a lead artist. You can still be involved in another project as a group member. And Thalia, if you want to.
Yeah, so if you are, let's say you're interested in applying for the medium artist residencies. So you can apply for that, but you can be a part of a group that is applying for a separate fund. So take that artist residency. I'm an artist. I want to apply for that, but I also play drums in a band. And that band is applying to the mixtape music series. That's totally okay. You can definitely do that. You just cannot be the lead artist on more than one application. And you can hop into the FAQs that look like what Amber has pulled up onto the screen and see like the exact definition of what a lead artist is.
Thank you, ladies. Isn't this team awesome? They're like hungry to help. Okay, this is the one that I feel like I've made clear, but I'm going to say it again. If I received a CXF award last year, am I eligible to apply this year? Yes, you can, as long as you're applying for a different opportunity. Artist in residence from last year cannot be an artist in residence this year. Find another opportunity, expand yourself, take a creative risk, apply to another fund. Okay, here's an interesting one. How can the funds be used? And I've not spent much time on this, but I want to, before I read this, I want to inform you all. We are very interested in you paying yourselves and paying the people that you might hire to work with you significantly. We're okay with you having volunteers, but for the love of God, pay yourself. So how can these funds be used? They must be used for direct costs, including artist fees, project-related materials and supplies, travel costs, if that's relevant to you, consultant fees, again, if that's relevant, contractual services, facility costs, marketing and promotion costs, and health and safety supply costs associated with your project. These are things that just for you to think about. We're not It doesn't have to be all of these things, but we're open to you spending money in that way. This is a question we hear frequently. Do I have to be a resident of the state of Arkansas to apply to these? You must be a resident of Arkansas to apply for the platform and the medium artist residency program. You do not need to be a resident of Arkansas to apply for the producers, mixtape, and Spectra series fund. And all eligibility varies with each of those funds. So please take a moment, go on the website, click around, and make sure that you qualify. If you have questions about that, you're welcome to reach out, but also attend those info sessions. The work period, I threw this on here too, because it is June 2023 as we record this. All of the projects, applications close July 17th. We will deliberate and panel in August. The very first projects begin in September 2023 and will run through May 2024. So you got to think ahead a little bit. So when you're applying, you can select a time frame, not a specific date, but a time frame, like, I think I'm kind of available this period. And this is when I want to do it, or my stuff's already done. It's already made. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I want to be the first, or I need a little bit of time. I'd like to do this period.
Can we pull up a seat to that for just 30 seconds, Amber?
I see John came on camera too. So
yeah. Thalia and John are like calendar calculus. Here we are. This is a really unique part of the Creative Exchange Fund. So in the application, you'll see these work periods. We call them work periods. And they are the weeks that correspond to the availability of each individual fund. And so we encourage you to think really hard about which one of those work periods you are willing and able to do your project, and you'll select as many as you are available. If your project is selected, John and I will lock ourselves in a room and try to weave together all of the 30 projects into a 9-month period, on top of all of the other cool events we have going on at the medium. So as Amber said, think really hard about your availability. And I know we're asking you to like think 9 months ahead, and what is even tomorrow? I don't know. But this is probably one of the hardest parts for us, is to make sure that everybody gets in a work period that aligns with their availability. John, did I miss anything on that? No. Great. Carry on.
Thank you, Thalia. You can tell, so John and Thalia are the ones that will, she used the term calendar calculus. We use that behind the curtain over here at the medium as we calculate how to fit your project into the calendar here, while still being available for the community to come in and use the space also. So while your project is happening here, there may be a theater performance that someone has rented the space to utilize. And we touched on this question earlier, but can the lead artist participate in other CXF projects? Yes. Lead artists may be members of other CXF projects for which they are not listed as the lead artist. If John Wayne Farr applies as the lead artist on 2 things, he will be ineligible. So please take a moment, consider which one's most important for you to apply to. And if you're a part of something else, great. Let someone else be the lead artist and apply. I hope that's clear. Again, this was just 6 of the FAQs that I just cherry picked. There are a lot of them on there. I know each of these 6 are very helpful. The rest of them are too. So please go on the website, scroll around, click around, see what you can learn about the Creative Exchange Fund. We did it. It's 7:03. I can see that the chat has like 80 something things in it that I've not seen. So I am going to hand it over to Thalia
Yeah.
to tell us what those questions are, and then I might let other people answer it so you don't have to hear my voice anymore, because you hear the same voice after a while, you just quit listening. So we'll let some other beautiful, capable people on the team answer some questions. So take it away, Thalia.
We appreciate your beautiful, capable voice, Amber. Thank you for carrying us through that for an entire hour. It was lovely. Round of applause. There was probably 80 notifications in the chat, and 78 of them were mine dropping links. So nobody stress about grabbing those links. We're going to send all of them to you in an email. So good on you if you grabbed them and like you registered while we were going through all this. I know some of you did because I saw them flash across my screen. But don't worry about scrolling back up through my 78 notifications. One question, we kind of touched on everything, but one question that was in the chat that is important, and I'm going to throw it over to John, is does the medium have equipment that we, the artists, be available to use? You know, we're going to give you money, you know, we're going to give you the space, but what else can we give them, John?
Yeah, so I can't believe I'm actually talking. I just forgot. I haven't spoken in an hour. I've been like sitting here in silence and I forgot how to speak now. But yeah, we have an assortment of equipment. If you actually visit our website and you look at spaces, there's also a document called Facility Specifications that lines out a lot of the equipment that we have available for various productions and usages like that. So it's everything from like lighting to audio gear and stuff and those things. The other thing I will say too is like I have seen some people who are like, man, it'd be great if who have used this fund or use their funds to purchase equipment to like explore new genres or explore new disciplines. Like a great example of that is we had someone who wanted to get into screen printing specifically as part of our artist in residence, and so they went out and they purchased a screen printing machine, one of those giant things, and even a heat press, and I was like, damn, that's cool. So that's an option as well. But yeah, it just depends on what you're, I guess, you know, what you want to do with your funds. But yeah, if you visit our website, check out facility specs, we have a list there. And yeah.
Thank you, John. Does anybody, I think we're a small enough group. If you wanted to unmute and ask your question, you could totally do that.
I'll jump in and fill some airtime and remind everyone that this is a very complex program. As simple as we're trying to make it, it's also 5 funding opportunities. And as you've seen, each of those comes with its own intricacies. So no question is stupid. We laugh a lot at ourselves because we're still asking questions about some things. So please be vulnerable, throw it in the chat, DM any of us. We're happy to answer any questions. Also, I threw our email up here, cxf@cashcreate.org. Feel free to email us questions there. I also threw our Instagram handle on here @themedium_art. Also @cashcreate. I saw Brittany put in the chat, if you have DM'd Cash on Instagram or Facebook, you have likely talked to Brittany before, and she and I and Cynthia Tran on this call to tag team the Medium's Instagram. So you can shoot us messages there as well, but we prefer that you email us. We also really prefer that you come to these info sessions and just continue to learn as much as you can through those info sessions and the website. Okay, I'll stop filling up airtime. Does anyone have any questions?
We were talking about money a minute ago, like what you can use your money for. Another cool facet of this program is that you have the opportunity to make money through this program. Every fund except Mixtape Music Series, that's an all ages free show. You can sell tickets to your event. You can sell your art. We don't have a point of sale at the medium that you can use, but we can help you find one of those, and we encourage you to use this as a springboard to get some earned revenue for yourself. So that's another really cool part of this program.
Yeah, and I will just say really quickly too, Thalia, on the mixtape music series, we've had handfuls of groups sell their
Hmm.
merch. We're not
Yeah,
collecting on anything of that. They've sold shirts, albums. Speaking of screen printing, there was actually a musician that screen printed while he was at the show. So, like, I mean, yeah. So we
yeah,
don't collect any commission, nothing like that.
yeah. Mixtape music people, bring your cool stuff, because John and I bought like almost every t-shirt that was available.
Yeah, I actually have a shirt from every musician that brought in t-shirts. So I'm trying to collect them. I might start a wall or something.
We will buy your stuff.
Applications are now open and they close July 17th at 5 p.m. Please don't wait until July 16th. That's a form of self-care to fill out your application sooner. Don't stress yourself out. Use this time to think through what it can be, take advantage of the resources and the people, the humans that are here and eager to help you. We want to see your cool projects. We want to see weird, cool, experimental. We love that here. We celebrate that and amplify it. So we hope you'll come.
Hey,
Yeah,
we got a very important question
good.
in the comments. Yes, you will receive 100% of your funds up front. There's no hoops that you have to jump through. We don't break it up. We want you to have the money so you can buy the things and pay the people. And that's a very, very easy, straightforward process to go through. Great question.
It's also an opportunity for you to learn about saving and budgeting. If your project is in May of 2024 and you receive funds in September, it's an opportunity to learn to squirrel that. That's how I use that term a lot. Squirrel the money away, hide it, and begin to work with it. But we love putting money into the hands of artists. John?
Uh, there's a new question, but also I'm going to touch in on something you were saying a little bit earlier, Amber, too. If you visit the website, the medium.art website, and you're just looking for like what kind of crazy ideas are we talking about when we've had things in the space, if you go to the menu on the top right and you click the bottom artist archive link, it'll show you just the recipients we've had through the past round of the Creative Exchange Fund. And some of this, I almost said something I probably shouldn't say, like a curse word, sorry, but some of the stuff we've seen come our way, and it's been fun, I will say that. What does the open studio look like? So I'll just touch in a little bit on that. So we'll have this thing called a visual art night, and that will be a night where both artists in residence will be and the Spectra series recipients will be all hosting an open studio or some type of reception to show off all the beautiful art in the building. So that's kind of that. It'll be a one night thing. When you go through the date time frames actually on the application, it will outline there that these will be the dates. We have 2 dates held just to make sure we can coordinate availability with as many people as possible.
Thank you, John. Yeah, basically open the door to your studio, show people the process of what you've been doing, or put some finished or in progress works on the wall, or have it available for people to come through and ask questions. That's it.
Mhm.
Your standard open studio.
And just to throw this out here as well, because you will have 24/7 access to your space, if you want to have friends over to come look at you during the process or things like that, you're welcome to do that. There are a few things that we just ask, just like let us know if you have a large crowd coming in or something like that. But for the most part, once you move into that room, that studio is yours to do with as you please. Well, I'll rescind a little bit of that. Not as you please. Don't demo a wall for me or something like that, or take out the ceiling.
And that access, that 24/7 access extends beyond the artist's residence to platform recipients, Spectra recipients. I think producers have access. That maybe that's dependent on the project. But most of the funds, except mixtape music series, because that's just a one night thing, will have 24/7 access to their space to build, rehearse, try, have their events, whatever.
There's a
Ooh,
question. for
Cynthia,
you,
yeah. Cynthia, do you want to touch on that one?
Cynthia, you should introduce yourself to beautiful human. Where are you? She might be preoccupied.
Hi everyone, I'm here. I don't look so beautiful today. I look kind of like a hot mess, but I'm here. I am the front of house and event coordinator, and I really honestly asked that question because I don't know the answer to it, but I figured it's a good question to ask for anyone out there that might hesitate to apply because they know that they may not be able to consistently do 10 hours a week all the time.
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, are we gonna like mark you absent and make you bring a doctor's note because you were sick and out a week? No, we're not. We're actually very easy and fun to work with, if you can't tell from this Zoom. That minimum hour requirement is new this year. Basically because we want this money and these studio spaces to go to people who truly need 4 walls and a roof to do their work in. We also want to work alongside you. We want to work tangentially to you as you are creating. And so that's why we placed the minimum number of hours as a requirement this year. But that basically just means like we want to see you in the studio. Like we want to hang out with you. We want you, like we want the money to go to somebody who needs a studio. You know, the attendance police are not going to be out to get you if you're sick or can't be there.
And I would say,
Go ahead.
well, I'll just say this quickly. I think too, like we're seeking, you have 6 weeks in the space. We're looking for you to utilize the space, hopefully for at least 60 hours on an average of 10 hours a week. If you're sick or there's a family emergency or your work, whatever, fill in the blank. We are humans and we get that. And you know, like Thalia said, we try not to police you once you're here. We just want to see that you're actually using the space. That's all that we're asking. And like Thalia was saying, we're interested in supporting artists that really need a space to take some type of creative risk or experiment or try something that they don't have space or time or resources or money to try otherwise. And so we're pretty open to what that can look like, but we're just asking that you flow in and out of the space on an average of 10 hours a week, however that works best for you. If that's, you know, a jam session on a Sunday for 4 hours, great, come in and do that. So I hope that clarifies for anyone else curious about that. Thanks for asking that, Cynthia.
Radical honesty, that's what we always talk about over here. And so if anything arises, feel free to communicate with us. And we constantly try to flex and bend and do all the things to ensure the magic still happens and you're able to participate.
All right. Any other questions? These are all great, valid questions. Go ahead.
One more FAQ that came up a few times this past iteration is, can you use additional spaces outside of those that are assigned to your fund? So say you're an artist resident and you want to do something on the stage. The stage is not included in your fund. So we could work with you to reserve the stage on an external route, but only those spaces that are associated with your fund. So look at those as you're building your project. Will you have access to and be able to use?
And I'll piggyback on that. As weird as that might sound, if you do have one particular space and you really, really want to use another space, ask us, talk to us. We can talk about possibly helping you make that happen by you maybe using some of your funds to rent an additional space. And we never want costs to prohibit you from trying your thing. But that's an option as well, just to say out loud, if you're like, I really wanted to use this particular space, if there's time and availability and flexibility, we will try to work with you, but communication is key. There's no way you all are experts on this. Would love to hear some more questions. We're like ready. We're ready to answer them. Please sign up for an info session. Please email cxf@cashcreate.org. What else is there? We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time to show up to this. We're proud of you for doing that. It takes a lot to just even come into a Zoom room. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a part of it. Please plan to do the site tour also. That'll be this team right here that's been talking to you that will walk you around the building, and we will point and talk, and it's a really great opportunity for you to meet us and see the space and dream about what's possible. And listen, we're very open to your projects and your project ideas. Don't think that your thing is too silly or not cool enough. We're not real interested in high art, like we want to see some cool DIY projects and experimental pieces and projects too. So please understand that we're really radically open to what that can look like. I think if there are not any other, maybe there's more questions. Thank you all so much for being here. If there's not any other questions, we may wrap up and let you have 9 minutes of your life back to go be with your family or pets or TV or go for a walk, go drink some water. I think that's it. We'll stop there unless anyone has anything else they'd like to say. We appreciate you all so much. And I'm going to cue DJ JWP.
Thank you.